Hey nerds, and welcome back to another video. Yeah, I haven't changed the channel name. This is the channel from Richard. Before I go any further, I need you to do me a favor. Don't tell Richard about this project. This is a surprise. You know, back in the old days, people got a surprise for their birthday. Now people get a surprise for their 100,000 subscriber mark. If you look over here, you see Richard is currently nearly 96,000 subscribers at the moment of recording, of course. And since I moved to the Canaries and he's something like my neighbor, I thought, well, we need a subscriber counter for Richard because he's always checking, do I have the 100,000 already? So I thought, well, let's go for it and do one of the most boring projects you can do with a microcontroller. Let's do a YouTube subscriber counter. I'm pretty sure there are lots of them out there. I haven't built one myself till now, so let's see how we do this. I will take you a bit with me on my journey here because I haven't done this before, and this is an unfinished project at the moment of recording. So let's see how this works out. Of course, I will need something to display the number of subscribers onto something. I was thinking about going for some Nexion displays that I have laying around, but then I thought, well, these are pretty small, and these Max 7 to 19 modules are pretty popular and easy to control, I hope. And yeah, I went for these things over here, which is a 8x8, 8x2 matrix. So there are going to be a freaking lot of LEDs to control. And I'm already thinking about, oh, well, the 5 volts won't like this. We'll have to think about the power consumption over here. But we cross that bridge when we come to it, and let's see how to control this thing. So in my book, there are 2 CPUs that come to mind, and these are both the cheap ones. So let's go for ESP8266 and a VMOS D1, or on a, yeah, I have a really Node MCU over here. In my book, this is total overkill. These boards are way too large, and you never need all the pins. As an alternative to the ESP8266, we can always go for ESP32. And of course, I have this in a big board here too. Thinking about what the CPU needs to do, well, these are out of the picture. And since I don't like the big board, it's going to be this VMOS D1 board. And if I have my schematics right here, oh yeah, I remembered right. There's a small problem. Let me zoom in and show you guys. This is our USB mini connector on the board. And you see up there F1 and D2. This is plainly for protection for the 5 volt rail. We're going to need a bit more current on that one, I think, for the LEDs. I'm thinking about 1 amp, and yeah, this will blow my fuse. So I probably will have to modify the board a bit, removing D2 and F1 along the way, because we'll simply grab the 5 volt from the USB and drop it right into the LED strip. So maybe I should think of a fuse along the way. Yeah, we cross that bridge when we come to it. All right, let's see what software we can use. Ha ha ha, now you thought he will write everything from bottom up, every bit will count. No, you guys, I'm lazy. You should know this by now. And if I can make my life easier with a pre-made library, I'll probably do that. And standing on the shoulders of giants, witness me now, I don't know how the guy is called, already did something here and wrote a thing that called Arduino YouTube API. For everybody playing along at home, you find the link to the library, of course, in the video description, but you can get it over your boards manager. Let me show you. You probably did this a million times before, but I feel somewhat like showing you how to install a library today. So let's go for it. Go for Sketch, go for Include Library, and there you find the Manage Library or the Control-Shift-I. I simply search for YouTube over here. And after scrolling down a bit, we find the YouTube API by Brian Logue. How do you say that? Well, anyways, let's install it. And it wanna include Arduino JSON. Be my guest. The library is installed, so let's check for examples. And we have YouTube API. And there's a example for ESP8266 channel statistics. That's exactly what we want. So let's go. Yeah, and silly me here. I thought this would be pretty easy. It simply would grab the web page, read out the statistics over there, and now it isn't. When you're at this point, you want to go back to the GitHub page and do what every sane person would do, read up. Because getting a Google API key required. This is important because Google has a thing, they have an API key, and you have to follow this procedure over here. Yeah, I did that, and I won't do this on videos. This is pretty horrifying, but Brian over here did a marvelous job because you simply go for, I click on this, I click on this, I click on this, I click on this, and then it should work. What you're seeing down here is what the library will request later from YouTube. And beside the error over here, this is what we get back from YouTube when we request the channel statistics. As you can tell, this looks pretty much like a JSON file. So this is why the installer wanted us to include Arduino JSON so this can be parsed. And here's another reason for using this API over here. We only use 150 to 200 bytes. If you request a page that tells you, well, we have 500 million subscribers over here, it probably will use way more data than the small JSON file over here. So there's a reason for doing this that way. All right, let me play around with the library and see what you get. So this is something like a first try on a subscriber counter over here. This is not the original example from Brian. It is heavily based on that, and it's just to have a proof of concept over here. So we'll see that it works. Of course, I played around with my credentials. I didn't use Richard's ones. I need to find a way to get the API key from him. I have no clue how I'm doing that, but we'll find out later. Not much to see over here. We have a Wi-Fi with 4 eyes in it. This is because Wi-Fi is a name we're using anyways as a library. This is a normal Wi-Fi library, and I wanted to have some differential over here. And I have my YT, so this is YouTube. There's all the YouTube stuff in there, and you see I don't do much. I initialize Wi-Fi over here, and then I initialize YouTube over here. Yeah, I'm using namespaces over here. If you haven't watched the video with the namespaces, it should be in the upper right corner right now, and you maybe want to do that. Loop doesn't do much. It just debugs the stats and sleeps for 60 seconds. Yeah, I know this is horrible, but for a proof of concept, this is fine. Let's see what's in the header files. Wi-Fi includes all my ESP8266 Wi-Fi client secure. I need an HTTPS connection over here. I initiate the client over here, and from there on, it's all in namespace Wi-Fi. This is pretty much a run-of-the-mill Wi-Fi connection routine. I called it here in init. You probably have seen this a million times now. I won't stick with that. I will go for Wi-Fi Manager in the final project because I don't want to hard code my credentials over here. You see SSID and password are hard coded in the code over here, and I don't like this. Again, for a proof of concept, just for testing this is fine, but I never go for this solution for a final product. The YouTube thing over here is even more boring. You have a char array for a channel ID, you have an API key in a char array, initiate your YouTube API as API key client. This is the client from the Wi-Fi. And from here on, this is a debug stats. So this is the interesting part over here. In the final product, this is the only thing that matters to us because this is a subscriber count. I don't care about view count, I don't need comment count, I don't need video count. I only need the subscriber count. This will be dropped out as I have no idea, probably a char array, maybe a string. We'll find out later when we're going to use this number and drop it over to the display. All right, for now, let me run this and see how it works. So I have the little Wemos D1 connected right now, and I'm holding down the reset button, which really hurts my finger right now, so I'm going to let that go now. And there's the usual reset stuff, and there's some getting the Wi-Fi connected, and there's a Wi-Fi connection. And let's wait for the stats. And wait. This is real time. Wait even more. Yeah, and I've seen this a lot. Connection failed. Don't be bothered by that. Just give it 60 seconds. By the magic of video editing here, you don't have to wait 60 seconds. We'll see this now. And as you can see, subscriber count 88. Yeah, this is my little channel at the time of recording. If you haven't, maybe you want to hit the subscribe button right now so this number goes a bit up. But what's important here, the proof of concept works. I can see a subscriber count and this is all I care about. I have to do some programming around there because if I get a failure back, I don't want to have something telling me, oh, the subscriber count is -1 or something like that. So I have to do some sanity checks here when I get the displays. But for now, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not sure, maybe it doesn't like the every minute requesting a new status. You can see there, invalid response now. Maybe it doesn't like that, and there's nothing more coming back from the library itself. So yeah, we have to do some clever programming to get the subscriber counter clean. And of course, we have to find out how we're going to connect the bunch of LEDs over there to the little microcontroller. And I shouldn't forget to bridge out the little fuse because we're probably going to need more than 500 milliamps. Well, this is longer than I thought, but I think this is okay for now. And yeah, I cut the video over here. In the next part, I hope we have the display here and we can finalize this project, and hopefully we'll finalize it before Richard reaches 100,000 viewers. If you haven't subscribed to Richard's channel, please do so. He's the grandmaster of electronics. Man, this guy knows so much about electronics. It is really fun to work with him and to listen to him explaining stuff. And every time I watch a video from him, I learn something new. Richard, thanks for all the videos. Alright, you guys, I hope you learned something today, and as always, keep hacking. See you in the next one. Oh, there's a reset. That's not good.